want to know what Clive Davis did for Whitney Houston? He needed her back.
Oh, yeah.
He needed her back. But he needed her back and under his control.
Earlier this year, in an interview on Club Shay Shay, Katt Williams said that karma is about to catch up with Hollywood elites, revealing all their shady dealings.
All lies will be exposed, that's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
It appears that Katt Williams' prediction was eerily accurate. Recent events suggest that Clive Davis is currently in a state of complete panic due to swirling rumors. The grapevine is abuzz with whispers connecting him, albeit indirectly, to the tragic downfall of none other than Whitney Houston herself. So, what's the story behind these rumors? Reports suggest that Whitney Houston's alleged last words were a poignant expression, "I just want to love and be loved." It's purported that Houston's quest for love led her into Clive Davis's circle, and the music mogul exploited this vulnerability for his own gain. To understand the gravity of this situation, it's important to recognize Clive Davis's reputation as a revered music producer and executive, celebrated for catapulting the careers of numerous industry icons. Whitney Houston, a phenomenal vocal talent, was one such rising star who fell under Davis's influential spell when she was a young artist brimming with potential. Unfortunately for Houston, signing with Clive marked the onset of her tragic demise. In an interview, R&B singer Jaguar Wright delivered a scathing critique of the Whitney Houston biopic, shedding light on the motivations behind its production and reigniting conversations about the circumstances surrounding Houston's tragic demise. Wright's bold remarks provide a raw and unfiltered perspective on the industry's exploitation of the late icon's legacy. "I don't know if they play this movie and you see no kind of substances in this movie. You feel like it's an injustice to what this look," Wright asserted, expressing her skepticism about the forthcoming biopic's authenticity. "I feel like anything with her name on it is strictly for the purposes of financial gain for those who have access to her estate, including Clive Davis." Wright's criticism didn't stop there. She explicitly called out Clive Davis, the renowned music executive closely associated with Houston's career, accusing him of exploiting the singer's talent and struggles for personal gain.
Davis, this ain't a film to celebrate Whitney Houston. This is a film to, pay to.
Referring to Davis's purported efforts to help Houston overcome her challenges prior to her death, Wright didn't mince her words.
He needed her back.
Oh, yeah.
He needed her back. But he needed her back and under his control.
Wright went on to highlight Davis's actions leading up to Houston's demise, including sending her on an international tour despite her ongoing struggles with substance abuse. However, Clive Davis is not the only person that Wright mentioned. Jaguar Wright revealed that Ray J was the last person to see Whitney Houston alive, and that he was actually the one who let the substance dealer into her room to her.
Ray J was the last person to see her alive. He let the dealer in, but she was sober, right? But he let the dealer in that gave her the shot.
She went on to say that Whitney had been beaten up before her death.
Viola Brown, Bobby Brown's sister, has said on several occasions that she was beaten. They saw her body. She didn't just die in a tub, like she was beat up.
Although Jaguar doesn't mention who was responsible for beating up Whitney, all the fingers currently point towards Ray J. In fact, after learning that Houston's use was one of the causes of her death, the icon's ex-husband Bobby Brown's sister Leola reportedly claimed that Ray J knew someone who sold substances and accused him of providing substances to Whitney. Leola reportedly claimed that she witnessed Ray J leaving Houston's hotel room when her former sister-in-law died. She then accused Ray of being a runner boy for the music legend because he knew somebody that sold subatences, from whom he bought and supplied them to Whitney. In addition to this, in a resurfaced interview, Ray J can be heard saying that he could get Whitney to be sober if he wanted to. The interview was conducted while Whitney was still alive, which meant that Ray J was actually controlling her at the time. What's even more shocking is that in that same interview, Ray J also admitted to using Whitney for clout. He also spoke about how at first he didn't want to sell his soul for Whitney, but later on decided he should take advantage of that option. At this point, it is clear that Ray J did not care about Whitney and only used her to get his fame. Later on, when Whitney died, Ray J was seen at her funeral grabbing her casket and faking tears for fame and to catapult his career. In 2017, Ray expressed his regrets about what happened to Whitney and even confessed that he was to blame. Speaking to singer Stacey Francis during season of Celebrity Big Brother, Ray brought up the events from 2012, saying, "Stacey and we had a conversation about what happened with Whitney Houston before she passed. I never talk about it, but it was something I felt she wanted to talk about and it was the right time, so we talked briefly about it, and I told them how I felt, how I blame myself on a lot of stuff. Ray also insisted that although several media outlets offered him millions to reveal secrets of the music icon's death, he turned down every single proposal. He said, "I had so many people calling me offering millions of dollars to have an interview. I was like, I don't need the money. It's not good money. That's just not right. My karma would be bad." Many fans who were devastated by Whitney's death were quick to point fingers towards Ray J's suspicious behavior. "I remember when I first heard the breaking news of her death on the radio, and they said Ray J found her, and then they came back about 10 minutes later and said it was her bodyguard named Ray that found her. That never sat well with me, nor did the way Ray J reached out for her casket at the funeral. It was for show, and that's why his demons are tearing him up now," one fan wrote. Ray J and Whitney Houston had a well-known and often speculated about relationship that has captured the public's attention for years. Whitney Houston was already an established superstar by the time she met Ray J in the early 2000s. On the other hand, Ray was a young up-and-comer when he first met Houston. He had already begun his career as an actor, appearing on shows like The Sinbad Show and Moshe, and had just released his debut album, Everything You Want, in 1997. At the time, he was still a teenager, and he quickly became enamored with Houston's talent and presence. It's not entirely clear how the two met, but they quickly became close friends. They were often seen together at events and parties, and Ray J even appeared on Houston's reality show, Being Bobby Brown, in 2005. The show, which followed Houston and her then-husband Bobby Brown as they went about their daily lives, gave viewers a glimpse into the couple's tumultuous relationship. But it also showcased Houston's affection for Ray J. As the years went on, rumors began to swirl that Ray J and Houston's relationship was more than just platonic. Some sources claimed that they had been romantically involved, while others insisted that they were simply close friends. Despite the speculation, neither Ray J nor Houston ever confirmed or denied the rumors. After Whitney died in 2012, Ray J was reportedly devastated by the loss, and in interviews following her death, he spoke candidly about their relationship, describing her as a mentor and a friend. "I think that Whitney knew that I really cared for her," he told Access Hollywood in 2012. In any case, despite the claims that Ray J might have actually been responsible for Whitney being on substances, we still cannot dismiss Clive's involvement in all this. In fact, recent revelations are now showing that Clive might have actually benefited more from Whitney's demise compared to when she was alive. You see, the world of music contracts is a labyrinthine maze, riddled with complexities that often escape public scrutiny. Hank Harrison, a muckraking reporter, is someone that appears to have stumbled upon a chilling discovery buried deep within artists' contracts, the infamous death clause. This clandestine clause, also referred to as a non-performance or failure of performance clause, raises eyebrows due to its alarming implications. This clause, as unearthed by Harrison, is a contractual provision that grants recording companies the astonishing power to rake in immense profits, even in the face of an artist's untimely demise. This seemingly nefarious maneuver ensures that record labels are entitled to claim not only their investments, but also a substantial portion of the artist's earnings from various revenue streams. The mechanism, shrouded in secrecy, empowers companies to secure hefty insurance policies against the artist's projected earnings, effectively making them beneficiaries of the artist's life and death. The inception of the death clause dates back to an era where the corridors of power were controlled by shadowy figures, reminiscent of scenes from the silver screen. It appears that this clause was designed to guarantee the label's financial security and influence, even if it meant profiting off the demise of an artist. In essence, the clause suggests that an artist who fails to meet performance obligations or repay advances becomes an even more lucrative asset in death. Intriguingly, this malevolent clause has evolved over time, adopting a subtler facade while maintaining its exploitative essence. Once valued in thousands, it now holds the potential to be worth billions, owing to the colossal investments labels make in nurturing and promoting burgeoning talents. The insurance policies procured under this clause serve as a safeguard against potential losses in the event of an artist's incapacity or demise, thereby safeguarding the label's investments and projected profits. Amidst this maelstrom of revelations, speculation has begun to swirl around the extent of Clive Davis's involvement with the death clause. As a mastermind behind the success of many artists, including Whitney Houston, questions arise about whether he reaped any benefits from the tragic loss of his prized protege. While no concrete evidence has surfaced linking Davis directly to this exploitative clause, artists and insiders have started to come forward, painting a troubling picture of his role in potentially capitalizing on the grim provisions of the clause. Whispers have transformed into outspoken voices as several artists shed light on their experiences within the clutches of the music industry's dark underbelly. Their stories echo the same sentiment, that the death clause, once a well-guarded secret, is not a relic of the past, but a contemporary reality. It has been alleged that Davis and other industry magnates might have leveraged this clause to their advantage, using it as a financial safety net against unforeseen losses. One person who spoke about this is avant-garde musician Amanda Gallus. Days after Houston's tragic demise, Gallus took to her Facebook page calling the record executive a colossal pig. According to Gallus, Houston should have been allowed to study for a minimum of 2 years with a voice therapist or teacher before even rehearsing, let alone performing on stage. In the entry, she claimed that the singer was put back on stage before she was ready to perform by Davis. Gallus wrote that Houston was ill-prepared to perform, writing, "What was she put on stage as? A lesson that substances... Hey, want to see a crack hoe sing? Courtesy of Clive Davis." Wow, man, that will be some freaky, right? You bet, man. Gallus didn't stop there, claiming that Davis could now, quote-unquote, package her death in frills and sell it big time, even during the nadir of record sales. She even went so far as to claim to foresee what the 79-year-old record industry vet would say in response. And Clive and Sony will say, "Even though we do not hope to even break even with this uncompromising tribute to Whitney Houston, we feel personally that it is her due as the foremost singer ever on our labels and as the lovely girl she always was to us." At the time, a spokesman for Davis responded by saying, "While Miss Gallus is entitled to her uninformed opinion, her Facebook post is wholly inaccurate and offensive. Clive Davis cherished Whitney and shares a mutual love for the Houston family. It is absolutely outrageous for anyone to suggest that Mr. Davis ever had anything but Whitney's best interest at heart. If you think it's only Gallus making these insinuations, you'd be wrong." Gallus's comments were echoed by Jaguar Wright in a recent interview where she claimed that Davis knew he needed Whitney back under his control, and that's why he was forcing her to have a comeback.
Oh.
He needed her back.
Oh, yeah.
He needed her back, but he needed her back and under his control.
For context, Clive orchestrated Whitney's comeback in 2009 after years of substance abuse and a messy relationship which ended in a messy divorce. Her debut album, I Look to You, sold 304,000 copies in its first 7 days on the market, sending Houston back to the top of the charts and giving her the best debut week of her career. Houston still stands for the best of songwriting, the best of singing, and we know the public wants it, Clive said in 2009. There is a song on this album which is called I Didn't Know My Own Strength, and it really speaks for Whitney. She tumbled, but she didn't crumble. In any case, Whitney did not release anything after that since her voice had been ruined due to substance abuse, much to Clive's disappointment. But despite the undeniable vocal decline and the unmistakable shadow cast over Whitney's star power, Clive's optimism seemingly remained unscathed. Of course, one might wonder if his rosy outlook was fueled by the substantial coin he continued to rake in from her legacy. It's difficult not to speculate whether Clive's unwavering hope was propelled by the echoes of revenue streams rather than genuine concern. In any case, it was no secret that the music mogul appeared to be more invested in making money than in his protege's well-being. You see, Whitney died on February 11, 2012, the day before the Grammy Awards. This was hours before she was to attend Davis's annual pre-Grammy party. At the time, the public and lovers of her music worldwide were devastated by her passing. However, Davis, Whitney's self-proclaimed friend and mentor, still hosted his pre-Grammy party in the Beverly Hilton Hotel on the evening of February 11th, despite the singer's body remaining inside the building until 12:45 a.m. At the start of the event, he shared a tribute to Houston saying, "By now you have all learned of the unspeakably tragic news of our beloved Whitney's passing. I don't have to mask my emotion in front of a room full of so many dear friends." The Grammy Award winner continued, "I am personally devastated by the loss of someone who has meant so much to me for so many years. Whitney was so full of life. She was so looking forward to tonight even though she wasn't scheduled to perform. Whitney was a beautiful person and a talent beyond compare. She graced this stage with her regal presence and gave so many memorable performances here over the years. Simply put, Whitney would have wanted the music to go on, and her family asked that we carry on. Whitney Houston's death on the eve of the Grammys in 2012 came as a horrific shock, if not entirely without warning. The platinum-selling singer and actress was to attend Clive Davis's annual pre-Grammys bash at the Beverly Hilton that night, but instead, she died in a room upstairs after accidentally drowning in the bathtub. It was reported at the time that the LA County Coroner's Office noted in its post-mortem findings that a white crystal-like substance was found in the room. There was also an open bottle of champagne and other personal items believed to belong to the late songstress. An autopsy was performed with the official cause of death listed as accidental drowning with atherosclerotic heart disease and used just probably immediately prior to the drowning listed among contributing factors. Toxicology screens found Benadryl, Xanax, marijuana, and the muscle relaxant Flexeril in Whitney's system. As if Whitney's death wasn't shocking enough, her daughter Bobby Christina Brown died in the same way 3 years later. Bobby Christina Brown, who was born in 1993, was the daughter of two music icons, Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown. Whitney and Bobby Brown met in 1989 and married 3 years later. While fans often assume it was Bobby who led Whitney into a dark place, the I Will Always Love You singer herself revealed that she had a part in her substance demise. Although Whitney was a star, her substance AB led to missteps along the way. As Vanity Fair noted, she often arrived late to appearances and occasionally lost gigs. In 2009, she opened up to Oprah Winfrey about her Suboxone addiction. She had been to rehab twice at that point, once in 2004 and again in 2005, and would give sobriety another shot in 2011. In the interview, Whitney revealed, "We were lacing our marijuana with base. We weren't on crack. We weren't on no crack stuff." She went on to add, "We weren't buying $20 jumbos. We were paying money. We were buying kilos and ounces and ounces. We would have our stash." Whitney said that substances sometimes gave her a sense of relief, telling Oprah at the time, "Don't forget, there were some times we'd laugh our tails off." Despite her many attempts to clean up her act, substances were cited as a contributing factor in Whitney's death. Speaking with Rolling Stone in 2018, he said of his ex, "She was really working hard on herself to try to be a sober person." Asked what he thought contributed to her death, he said, "Just being brokenhearted." Whitney Houston, the legendary songstress with a voice that could move mountains, met a tragic end on February 11, 2012. Her untimely demise sent shockwaves through the world, leaving fans in the music industry reeling from the loss of one of its most iconic figures. While her legacy remains immortalized through her music, understanding the circumstances surrounding her death requires a closer examination of the events leading up to that fateful day. Officially, Whitney Houston's cause of death was ruled as an accidental drowning, compounded by heart disease and use, according to a detailed 42-page coroner's report. The report revealed a cocktail of substances in her system, including marijuana, Xanax, Benadryl, and Flexeril. However, it was determined that only and its metabolites contributed to her passing, while the other substances were deemed non-lethal. Los Angeles County Chief Coroner Craig Harvey shed light on the investigation, stating that the presence of water in Houston's lungs indicated that she was alive when submerged. Despite the level not reaching lethal thresholds, her death was complicated by chronic use and pre-existing heart issues. Coroner Assistant Chief Ed Winter outlined two possible scenarios. Houston may have lost consciousness due to intoxication or suffered a heart attack before drowning. The tragic discovery of Houston's lifeless body occurred within the confines of Suite 434 at the Beverly Hilton Hotel in Beverly Hills, California. The sequence of events leading to her discovery unfolded rapidly. Just 40 minutes before her death, Houston had a seemingly normal conversation with her mother, Cissy Houston. However, less than an hour later, hotel security was alerted to her unresponsive state in the bathtub by her assistant. Police arrived promptly, as they were already stationed at the hotel for Clive Davis's pre-Grammy Awards party. Despite efforts to revive her, Houston was pronounced dead at 3:55 p.m., marking the end of an era in music. However, Whitney and Clive's business relationship did not start as tragically as it ended. When Whitney Houston and Clive Davis first crossed paths in 1983, little did they know it would mark the beginning of a tumultuous journey fraught with both triumph and tragedy. Their partnership, though undeniably influential, was marred by shadows lurking beneath the surface, casting a dark pall over Houston's meteoric rise to fame. Houston's introduction to the music industry through Davis seemed like a stroke of fate, but behind the scenes, the dynamics were far from rosy. While Davis, hailed as a music industry titan, saw in Houston a vessel for his own ambitions, Houston, a young and impressionable talent, found herself ensnared in a web of manipulation and exploitation. From the outside, Houston's career appeared to soar to unprecedented heights, with over 200 million records sold worldwide and a string of chart-topping hits. Yet, beneath the glitz and glamour lay a harsh reality of relentless pressure, personal turmoil, and the insidious grip of addiction. Davis, a shrewd businessman with a knack for spotting talent, recognized Houston's potential from the moment he laid eyes on her. However, his interest in her went beyond mere admiration for her vocal prowess. It was a calculated move to solidify his own standing in the industry. By signing Houston to his label, Davis ensured his own ascent to greater heights of success, using her as a pawn in his game of musical domination. Houston, born into a family steeped in musical tradition, seemed destined for stardom from a young age. Raised in Newark, New Jersey, by parents deeply entrenched in the music scene, she inherited both talent and ambition. Yet her journey to the pinnacle of success was fraught with obstacles, chief among them being her fraught relationship with her mentor, Davis. While Davis's guidance initially propelled Houston to fame, it soon became clear that his intentions were not entirely altruistic. Behind closed doors, Houston found herself subject to Davis's whims and demands, forced to conform to his vision of the perfect pop star. Her artistic integrity was sacrificed at the altar of commercial success, as Davis dictated every aspect of her image and sound. Houston's early years in the industry were marked by a relentless pursuit of perfection, fueled by Davis's unyielding demands for chart-topping hits. Her debut album, released in 1985 to critical acclaim, set the stage for her meteoric rise to fame. However, the pressure to maintain her status as a chart-topping sensation took its toll on Houston, leading her down a path of self-destruction and despair. As Houston's star continued to rise, so too did her personal struggles. Her tumultuous relationship with then-husband Bobby Brown only served to exacerbate her downward spiral, plunging her further into the depths of addiction and despair. Despite her immense talent and undeniable success, Houston found herself trapped in a cycle of addiction and self-destruction, her once promising career overshadowed by the specter of substance abuse. For Davis, Houston's decline was not merely a personal tragedy, it was a threat to his own legacy and reputation. As rumors swirled about his role in Houston's downfall, Davis found himself on the defensive, desperately scrambling to protect his own image in the face of mounting scrutiny. Yet, try as he might to distance himself from Houston's troubles, the shadow of his influence loomed large over her tragic demise. In the days leading up to her demise, Houston appeared to be in good spirits. Just 2 days prior, she attended rehearsals with singers Brandy and Monica for Clive Davis's star-studded event. On the same day as her passing, Houston made her final public appearance, delivering a stirring rendition of Jesus Loves Me alongside Kelly Price. Houston's struggles with addiction were well documented throughout her life, shedding light on the darker aspects of fame and celebrity. Her death served as a poignant reminder of the dangers of substance abuse and the toll it can take on even the most talented and beloved individuals. Despite the tragic circumstances surrounding her passing, Whitney Houston's legacy endures. Her music continues to inspire and uplift audiences worldwide, serving as a testament to her unparalleled talent and enduring spirit. Tributes to Houston poured in from around the world, honoring her memory and celebrating her remarkable contributions to the world of music and entertainment. In the wake of her death, Houston's impact on the music industry and popular culture remains as potent as ever. Her voice, once a beacon of hope and inspiration, continues to resonate with audiences of all ages, reminding us of the indelible mark she left on the world. Though Whitney Houston may have left us too soon, her legacy will continue to shine brightly for generations to come, ensuring that her memory will never be forgotten. Anyway, that's it for this video, folks. Bye.